Today's British Rum review, I'm going to be chatting about NINEFOLD Edition 2. Now, if you're looking at this, yes, I am. This is being filmed at the tail end of 2022. Kit has got brand spankers new bottles, but these are the old rums. So we're going to be, you know, this is exactly the same as the kind of, I forget what he actually calls this, pure single rum. It's exactly the same as what he's producing now. There isn't a new shiny bottle. I think ABV might be different slightly. I haven't really dived into this actually, but we are having a taste along very, very soon with my membership community with Kit. But I wanted to kind of talk about this. This is actually my second bottle of this. And I loved it. You can't get it. I bought two at the time, way back whenever it was. Got released in January this year, 2022. So if you're watching this 2023, you know, last year, it'll be a year old. So edition 2, Kit is Ninefolds is just sort of on the borders. I won't go into too much detail because we can watch the live stream where he can talk about this in himself. But this is the British distillery that I'm kind of the most excited about, because he has just hit the ground running with his rums. The rums are phenomenal. They're amazing. And this is what I've talked about in the first video, doing the Old Mother Hunt. You know, these, you have to remember, this is all right, a bit longer for Kit. Year 4 now for Kit, year 3. I forget where he is now. But, you know, as I go back to, was Richard Seal producing that quality of liquid in the first 2 years? You know, but Foursquare, you know, was Guyana, El Dorado, were Dawley's, were Appleton, were any of those producing the standard of quality of liquid they are now in year 2 of business? This is what you have to appreciate with scratch British rum. Now, the whole point of these Monday videos is these are focusing on brands, on distilleries that are distilling from scratch. Yes, we do not import sugarcane. We do not grow sugarcane in the UK, but you can import molasses very, very easily. And there are certain other distilleries that we'll come on to in future weeks that have actually found a way of using sugarcane juice in rum as well. But molasses is, you know, as I've said time and time again, even certain, I won't name drop them, but certain big boy rum brands, big rum brands, let's go gender neutral, big rum brands, they import their molasses. They do not grow sugarcane on those islands to produce their rums. They import molasses. Most brands import molasses. So there's no difference from us importing molasses. And that's the thing we've got going for it. We've got a very different style of rum that people just have to adopt and not think of it, not compare it to St. Lucia, not compare it to Barbados, not compare it to Jamaica. You wouldn't compare Jamaican to Barbados. They are two very different styles of rum. So this should be taken in its own right. Now, what is this? So Kit has got his whole cask program on his website. He's just dropped cask number 2 now, which is the aged pure single rum, pure single aged rum, I think that's called. So CA02. But this is edition number 2. This is cask number 5 he's got on there. The barrels he's used is virgin oak, essentially, virgin ASB. I don't know what ASB stands for. And X whiskey, aged for a minimum of 21 months. Released January 2020. Now I can go into a bit more detail because I've taken notes of what he's actually done here. So this is quite fascinating what he's done. 59. So this is the difference between Becky Old Mother Hunt's, which was 44. This is 59.4%. 59.4. So good. And if I haven't said it already, this for me at the moment, bear in mind I haven't tried the Matuga, and I've heard a lot of people come back to me after an Instagram post saying if you because I put this was the benchmark so far, then they were saying open the Matuga because it is amazing. So there's a lot of people already shouting out the Matuga Mavuno, I think it's called, which we're going to come on to in a couple of weeks' time as well. So, but at the moment, this is my benchmark. So what happened? Kit, September 2019. He partially filled a virgin oak barrel with 50 litres. So a 200 litre barrel, he partially filled 50 litres full with his rum. He let that age. 6 months later, he then, so March 2020, he then added 150 litres more. So he had he had 50 litres kind of taking on that virgin, like really, basically virgin oak, as I mentioned, virgin cask really impart flavour a lot quicker than used barrels. So they kind of give off this vibe that they're a lot longer aged than what they actually are. All right, and why more people don't use this, I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not a cooper. I don't profess to know anything about barrel aging or anything like that. It just fascinates me. It's like, okay, so why are we using Eldorado 15-year-old? Why are we using like really old barrels that you're really struggling to get flavour out of and aging them for 15 years when you could be using virgin oak for 2 years and have a quicker turnover? I don't understand the science behind that. Someone might fill me in. That's a discussion I want to have this year to find out. But anyway, so let's get back to it. September 2019, he poured 50 litres into a virgin oak, a 200 litre virgin oak cask, 50 litres full. 6 months later, he added 150 litres to fill it up. So that was then aging for 14 months. Okay, so that whole 200 litres aging for 14 months. So June 2021. He then and where are we? He then recasked the 2,000 litres, so we've got, into various different ex-Speyside whiskey Oloroso sherry cask barrels. So a whiskey that had been aged in old Oloroso sherry cask. So basically a whiskey, unnamed whiskey distillery, imported loads of Oloroso casks to age their whiskey in. At some point, they aged their whiskey. Kit's got hold of those smaller casks and then shared the 200 litres between those smaller casks. So that is the whole, bit complicated, I know, but this is the fascinating thing. This is what I'm really kind of, really loving about British rum and the stuff they're getting up to. It's just slightly different to a lot of the bigger brands around the world. So where are we? £60. This was a bottle. I don't know. I would imagine edition number 3 to be slightly more because it flipping sold out as quick as you like. There was certainly none left after a week or so. It sold out so quickly. Bottle it was 256 bottles. That's what you got out of it. 256 bottles. So that's the game. Molasses-based rum. What have I put there? So tasting. Listen, I mean, just the aroma on this. It just really. I fell in love with this. I really did. Dark chocolate, vanilla, probably vanilla over chocolate. If you had a vanilla chocolate bar, is that even a thing? Do people make vanilla chocolate bars? That's the kind of vibes I'm getting. What else am I got? I've written notes here as well for what I should be getting, but it's vanilla chocolate. Other notes I've seen other people do. Toffee, nutmeg, apple and apricot. I don't really get the apple and apricot. I was fascinated by that. Like when I nose Bacardi 8-year-old especially, but Bacardi 10, I really do get that stone fruit vibe. I really do pick apricots and that sort of thing. I don't necessarily get that off this. It is just, I just think, I thought I was thinking white chocolate. If someone gave me a chocolate vanilla, I don't think there is a chocolate bar with vanilla, but if someone gave me that, that's what I would be getting from this. Or that's what I'd expect it to smell like. I mean, it just smells so amazing, so delightful. Now, in a completely opposite way to Old Mother Hunt. Old Mother Hunt for me is a session rum. 44% ABV. I would think nothing of that. Just sitting around drinking. I drink neat spirits. I'm not. If I went to a party, for instance, I wouldn't be drinking rum or cokes or cocktails or beer or whatever. I love my neat spirits. That's kind of what I think, because I can't do the whole bloating and gas and the burps and all that sort of stuff. I just get full. So I like sipping neat spirits. That from the Old Mother Hunt, the barrel aged there, is that sort of rum that I would potentially take to a party, because I'm just going to be happy enjoying that all night long. This is more sitting around, end of the evening, relaxing with a nice, about that size tipple, I've got the feisty. I've just let that sort of palate acclimatise. I've had a few pulls of this. I didn't really appreciate the first bottle as much as I should have done. I just drank it because it was so flipping good. This I'm kind of more trying to take my time, and I'm going to keep a bit, just to kind of appreciate it a bit more, because the chocolate is not so. The chocolate and vanilla is on the nose, but it isn't so much on the taste. You get sort of a prickle of spice like cinnamon, nutmeg on there. You get toffee, probably I wouldn't say salted caramel, but sort of a caramel, more toffee than caramel. That sort of burnt toffee kind of thing. You know, you kind of, I'm assuming most of you kind of know what I mean by that. There is possibly a faint nod to sort of stone fruit in there, but I think it's more mixed fruit. It's more kind of, I tell you what it is. You know, you buy those bags of mixed fruit for fruitcakes. That's kind of the vibe that I get off that, but not remotely close to what I would get off. And that sort of thing, you know, just makes me think El Dorado when people say that. It's nothing even as punchy as that. It kind of is this well balanced vanilla, but it's that ABV. I don't think it's too powerful. Nearly 60%, 59.4 was it? 59.4. I don't think it's that powerful. Other people might disagree with me, but this is certainly something I would have a decent sized tipple of a night, and not another one. If you know, like one is enough for me. For those of you who smoke cigars, this might be a perfect sort of cigar rum for you as well. I don't. I'm not into that. This is just tasty. What else? The only other thing that someone else that I kind of put is maple. I'm lost with the maple. I don't get the maple. But this is easily, still for me, until I try the Matuga, still for me, the benchmark in British rum. I generally I'll be honest, I haven't tasted that many. I'm talking less than a dozen, less than 12. And I'm talking about the aged stuff, because we're all new to it. You know, there's not much aged stuff going about at the moment. That for me is easily the benchmark, and I cannot wait for edition 3. That is why my one hot tip. I've got rough dates of when edition 3 is dropping. It's not dropping January that I know of in there. But Kit might divulge in the live stream that we've got coming up, or there's already been, depending when you're watching this. But honestly, that would be, if there's one brand, one British rum brand at this precise moment, to kind of, that have already nailed what they're doing, and Kit's only going to get better. This is difference. Don't think I'm saying that Old Mother Hunt isn't, and Lazy Dog's another brand that I'm going to come on to, isn't. I'm loving their journey. They are far from the finished thing. Kit is sort of not the finished article, if you like, but is just going to get better. Look, I'm just going to be bigging up all British rum brands. I am, but even I can't deny that the quality of this is superb, absolutely superb. The one thing I didn't do is the sweetness scale. I mean, again, there's no dosage, no sugar added to it, so there's no point in doing a sweetness scale to it. But I don't think at 59.4%, I don't think that's going to put many people off. I don't think many people are going to go, ooh, you'll get the first, but after that, it's just an enjoyable, neat sipper. That is flipping delicious. And when I get to 2/3 of the bottle, about there, it's just going to be locked away. I'm not having it. I want to keep that for years to come, to compare edition 3 to edition, or edition 2 to edition 3 to edition 4 and stuff. You know, this is just going to be fantastic. So that's Kit's Ninefold edition 2. Cheers. We'll see you in the next one.